Hello, welcome to the Rock Sound podcast. I'm Will Cross. Tamsin, how's it going?
Going pretty good.
Yeah, eating a flapjack.
I'll try not to chew whilst I'm talking. But
You're sat where Jack sat when he was eating our old interns, chocolate pudding.
Yeah, it's like...
why were you eating his chocolate pudding? That sounds so wrong. Why were you eating his chocolate pudding?
Because he left it in the fridge.
He did. He left multiple
and
in the fridge.
it was a podcast snack. And
okay. I thought you meant whilst he was still here.
No, it was a delicious...
You're not having that, young intern. It's mine.
It was a delicious vegan treat.
It was lovely. So yeah, that's the voice of Jack Rogers. Hello. Not eating the chocolate pudding this time.
No, I'm not this week. I'm fully satisfied with my meals this week. So
lovely stuff. Well, what a place to start. It is sing-along roulette time, of course. That time again where we spin a song at Jack and he sings it back for us like the best jukebox ever. So
I got quite a lot of compliments about my Dear Maria last week.
You know it's a real thing when you get your own hashtag.
So this week we're going to fire another absolute banger at Jack. He's going to sing it back to us. So this week we're going to go a little preview of what's to come on the show. It's Hey Rachel, the classic by As It Is. Here we go. Hey Rachel, I'm sorry. Whoa.
There was like real heart in that.
There was a lot of throat.
Not even my sister.
It's like you're giving an audition. That was brilliant. Maybe my favourite yet.
Bloody hell.
Well, so follow us on SoundCloud, subscribe to us on iTunes. Last week we had the return of Always the Quiet Ones, our special feature where we talk to members of bands that don't necessarily get the spotlight, a bit quieter. We spoke to Zach Merrick of All Time Low fame, absolutely amazing to get to know him. And we also had now Mallory Knox frontman Sam Douglas after ex-frontman Michael Chapman's shock departure from the band on the show's chat everything Mallory Knox, what's happened with the future, and of course they have just released their brand new song, the first as their new lineup, Black Hole, so check that out online on YouTube. Check us out on rocksound.tv, but this week it is our brand new issue launch special. So last month, of course, we had Nothing Nowhere, it was absolutely amazing, but this month is just as exciting. So for the first time ever, we have got Awsten Knight of Waterparks and Patty Walters of As It Is, When Patty Met Austin, as we're calling it, on the cover together. Absolutely amazing. Getting to know the leaders of the brand new generation, the leading lights of a new generation of amazing bands. Very personal, hilarious cover feature. Getting to know the guys, getting to know what makes them tick and just what they're like as friends as well. Absolutely amazing. But more on that in a bit. Tamsin.
Sad news, guys. Warped Tour have revealed that they're not reuniting My Chemical Romance for this year's final cross-country tour. One OK Rock have released brand new song Change. Slam Dunk have announced that Rome, Goldfinger, Real Big Fish and The Audition in a world-exclusive reunion performance have joined this year's lineup. I am so stoked for The Audition, you have no idea.
Shout out 2008.
Big up.
Fall Out Boy have covered Whitney Houston's classic I Want to Dance With Somebody, because why not? Nothing Nowhere has signed to Fuel by Raymond and dropped a new song, Ruiner, and the Ghost Inside frontman Jonathan Vigil has written a moving account on his Instagram about attending shows since the band's bus crash in 2015. Our thoughts go out to him.
Absolutely, yes. So interview one. So of course it's our launch special. So we're tying everything in to our brand new issue and the cover of our brand new issue. So Jack, you took the reins on the chats this week. I was away. So we're kicking off with Patty. Of course, like As It Is fame, his first ever cover in general. So it's absolutely amazing. Really brilliant to hear how stoked he was about it, and then just getting to know. We've had him on the show a couple of times before. We're getting to know the person, behind that figurehead, behind the face, even more. And just meeting Austin as well, being friends with Austin and Waterparks, and just being a genuine figurehead and an inspirational figure as well, and kind of what's behind that and who inspired him when he was growing up. Really, really interesting stuff. So here we go, Jack's chat with our cover star, Patty Walters.
Thank you for joining us on release day of your first ever cover.
Yeah, that's so exciting. Honestly, it's amazing to be a part of, and kind of crazy to think of with how long it's been reading Rock Sound. So it's pretty special, pretty fun.
Yeah, man. How is it feeling that this is your face alongside Mr. Awsten Knight is going to be in stores across the world?
It's really surreal. It's one of those milestones where I think it's really important to kind of like slow down and appreciate the kind of magnitude of something quite like that, where, you know, in any industry, you know, you can take a lot of things for granted, you can become jaded along the way, and that's a really important thing. And something that I've always just kind of like dreamt would happen, and to see it happen is like I said, surreal, but it feels incredible. And really proud to be on the cover of Rock Sound. Really proud, and it means a lot to me. So it's incredible to see it happen.
Amazing, man. Well, let's say that this kind of relationship with you and Awsten, it kicked off when you toured with them at the end of last year, which, as it sees in the feature in the mag, like, it looks like you had the best time ever. Like, what were some of your favorite memories of that tour?
It was sincerely fun. There's a lot of tours where you don't necessarily get on as well as it can seem through social media, or it's kind of like live on stage. But that was a tour where every person, members of the band, members of the crew, was like truly genuine and really fantastic. And we made really like deep friendships with every single person on that tour. And it was incredible. Between like Sleep On It and Chapel and Waterparks and all their crew, it was just really fun. Some of my favorite memories of that tour. Let me have a think. One of my personal favorites was there was a long overnight snowy drive from Salt Lake City, Utah to Denver, Colorado. And everyone was real panicky about kind of like not getting stuck up in the mountains and like, you know, taking like the safe route. And I was just asleep, and it turns out we'd ridden the dangerous route. Otherwise I would have been kicking and screaming, telling everyone to turn back. But, we took the snowy, icy, mountainous kind of roads. And, because we did that, we were the only ones that made it to that show. And we were just kind of hanging around in the venue all day going, okay, is anybody going to come? And then we ended up having to cancel it. And we still went outside and met everybody who'd been queuing up all day in the cold, and made them all like tea and coffee and stuff. And it was, it was just nice to have like an extra long chat with all those people, because, you know, sometimes you don't actually get to, converse with people all that long in that situation. But that was particularly funny. I don't know. It's just being on tour with Waterparks. Like, they're always doing something absolutely outrageous. Their tour pranks were actually quite funny. My personal favorite was during Sleep On It. They actually did an on-stage meet and greet where they brought like a photographer and about like 20 fans on stage, and we're like taking photos. It was really, really hilarious. I don't know, just every day was something new, something funny, and it was just cool to be a part of. Every day is an adventure. Definitely, yeah. Also, because in the feature as well, you talked about that you spent Thanksgiving together as well in Michigan. Tell us a little bit about that, because you only kind of hinted on it, but where did you do it? Like, did someone cook, and did like Chef Jeff get involved at all? Did he get anything going on? What's the story? A good friend of ours, Ronnie, let us all come over, and between he and his mother, we're all cooking and all this kind of stuff. And we're great friends with him. We've known him for a long time, and it was really kind of him to kind of like let Waterparks into his home, having kind of he'd never met them before, but he thought they were great people after meeting them, like most people do. And it was just really fun. We'd never done like a real proper American Thanksgiving with everybody, and it was cool. Yeah, everyone kind of said what they were thankful for, and it was we'd been on the road with Waterparks for a little bit at that time, but that was really like, an entire day to kind of get to know them a little deeper and a little more personally. And everyone was just, really feeling really sentimental about, being there with friends, and, being away from home and all the people you love on a day like that isn't necessarily easy, but being there with people that you do love in a different kind of way, it's still something to be thankful for. And it was just cool to hang out with everybody all day in that kind of capacity, and really go, okay, this is kind of a special day, and we should all kind of know that and enjoy that. Amazing. Away from like the tour pranks and eating dinners and stuff, what was it that you learned from
Waterparks and Awsten in particular on Time on the Road, were there any things which the way they conducted themselves or the way that he approached things that you picked up?
The thing that I learned and kind of respected the most about Awsten was they'd play a great set, and then as soon as it was over, minutes after it was over, Awsten would start writing new songs. And I just thought that was amazing because it's something I know that I'm personally not really capable of doing. I'm not kind of like switched on and inspired in that way all the time. And it was just really cool to see because, I try to write as often as I can, but to go straight from stage to your kind of like portable studio setup is something I never considered, and it's something I might kind of try in the future because, it definitely does produce good results. They do write amazing songs, and it was just that was a real eye opener. Okay, that's what you do. You don't even shower after coming off stage. That's usually where I am first. But you're picking up a guitar and writing more songs. Okay.
Amazing. Yeah, that's a really interesting way of going about it. That it's like he's staying in that emotional state to like write more music about what he's feeling and get it down before it's like forgotten.
Exactly. Maybe that's why it wouldn't work for me, is because our songs are so miserable. I'm usually in too good a mood after we've played a set. I usually find playing sets really, really fun, and I'm just kind of like jumping and having a great time, and then I go, all right, let's write a sad song, and then I'm just like, no, feel too good. I need to wait until I'm miserable again.
Let's talk a little bit about the actual shoot that people can see in all of its glory in the new issue. There's a few questions, such as, tell me a bit about the dog.
The dog, oh gosh, I can't remember his name, but it was something really cute. Like, it might have been Mooch, something like that.
Amazing.
The dog was just the owner of the studio's dog. We found that studio and kind of went there late in the evening. Once the show had already started a little bit, and we just kind of played around with everything that we could find in that studio between the dog and that weird mannequin's head and probably other things. Like, I can't entirely remember, but that dog was so sweet. So Mooch was just happy to be part of what we were doing, and on and off camera, we were just kind of broing down with Mooch. It was a really good time, and he was a really sweet dog.
Amazing. It's a little cutie. And what was it like actually shooting with Awsten? Did it feel quite natural that you two could kind of produce these sort of pictures? Like, did it just feel like two guys just having fun and hanging out?
Yeah, it did, and it honestly was, and that's why I'm so kind of appreciative that the shoot happened towards the end of that tour. Is we really got to know them all as people, and we were very comfortable around them. They're the kind of band where you're allowed in their dressing room, and we were just kind of hanging out constantly and just having a good time. So we were really comfortable around each other, and we'd like made memories by that point, and we just kind of, exactly became comfortable around each other. So it really was just that simple of just kind of, let's do this. That'd be ridiculous. And yeah, it was all really fun.
Perfect, man. Let's get a little bit into what you talk about in the feature as well, because if you feel like there's a lot of honesty in here, because it's the first time that you're kind of doing a chat about you and your feelings and your emotions away from all the band stuff. Like, you're not talking about music. It's about you. And you talk a lot about not being afraid of struggling and being able to talk about those things, but also not giving up on chasing your dreams and like reaping the benefits of that now. Like, what is it that you want people who look up to you to take away from the way that you live your life and approach things, and also what you've developed in terms of what the band actually represents?
I think, firstly, I just want everyone to know that if they want something bad enough, that it's possible to achieve that thing. It's just a matter of really hard work and a lot of time, and a lot of the time, objectively from the outside, maybe that looks instantaneous or, like you click your fingers and it's there. But like I said, I've been reading rock sound for probably over 10 years at this point. I've been playing guitar for closer to 15 years, and being in a band is the one thing that I've known all my life that I wanted to do, and that nothing else would feel right for somebody like me. So it's the only thing that I kind of chased. There was kind of really just nothing else I considered possible or a possibility. So I went after that and kind of took every opportunity to be here, and I'm lucky enough to say that it has, because it certainly does not happen for everybody, and I'm aware of that. I think I appreciate how lucky I am to be here. But yeah, it's a difficult one where, like your struggles and chasing happiness. I mean, like, happiness is not this kind of tangible end goal. Happiness kind of comes and goes, and we as people just kind of, can hold on to happiness for a while, and then it's gone, and we have to kind of make changes in our life to obtain that again. So I think it's important to remember that while you struggle, it's not permanent, because all good things, all bad things aren't permanent. We just kind of like fluctuate, we dip and dive, and things get better, then they get worse, and that's just kind of the nature of lives and people. But yeah, it feels good right now to be in this band, and it feels good right now to be doing what I do. And it's good to say that, because behind the scenes that's not always true. It certainly hasn't been true of this band in the past, but as of right now, it does feel very, very good.
Big man, I feel as though as well, because you've been very open about your views on social media and stepping away from it and having that kind of distance with your own kind of feelings and thoughts away from the band. And this is kind of one of the first times that you've really talked about it and its influence on you. Like, how do you feel like, are you hoping that has a certain effect on people's judgment of you and like the respect that you want?
I hope so. I hope it has a certain kind of impact on people, in the sense that, for me, social media hasn't always been something I've enjoyed using. It's actually been like a really kind of toxic, poisonous thing in my life, and I think we're at a point in society where social media is just kind of a necessity, which isn't inherently a bad thing in itself. But I don't know, when social media companies use like algorithms to kind of boost how long you're on their websites, that's not actually kind of conducive to kind of a good mental health. It's actually like detrimental to your soul for the most part. And I've just kind of come to learn that I was spending a lot of time on social media when I was rarely, if ever, posting on social media. So I just had to ask myself, why am I on these sites constantly when I personally never use them for myself? I'm just kind of consuming crap all day and just kind of going, okay, well, so I've recently unfollowed tons of people on Instagram, tons of people that I love, because I was just so sick of kind of like wanting to refresh the feed and like, being updated and all this stuff. And I was like, does this actually bring me happiness? Well, it clearly doesn't. So, I don't know, social media in the past has always been a real numbers game for me. Coming from a YouTube background and an up-and-coming band, having social media means free exposure, and you want to use that to kind of all the potential that is available to you, which is, in the social media days, infinite, really, if you just kind of use it properly. And it's been really difficult, but really rewarding, transitioning into using social media for me instead of using it as a kind of promotional tool for my endeavors or the band's endeavors or anything like that. And yeah, like there's this part of you that's kind of screaming in fear and out of doubt, where it's, you see yourself becoming obsolete because the numbers don't mean what they used to. But I kind of, when I'm talking to people at shows or when I'm talking to the people in my life, like I can I can feel that I'm a much happier person, and I'm a much more kind of emotionally intelligent person than I used to be. And there are things in my life that I would value over numbers on social media, and happiness and kind of sounder, more stable mental health is certainly two of those things among many. And it's been, a journey, and maybe, again, like as I mentioned, maybe that looks instantaneous, but it takes a long time. It takes a lot of fear. It takes a lot of doubt and a lot of struggling. But, eventually you can kind of get to the top of that and look at the view and kind of see everything that you've kind of like overcome to get there. So, looking back on it, it's something that I'm glad I did, because it was worthwhile, but I wasn't always certain it was the right decision.
Yeah, man, big style. Away from that as well, because it kind of links in that you're now someone who people do look to for advice, and they take notice of the things you're doing or the things you're saying and acting upon that. When you were growing up, who were those people for you? Like, who was it who you looked to for that balance and support?
Really important ones for me were Toby Morse from H2O, Davey Havok from AFI, Chad Gilbert from New Found Glory. These guys that were really kind of prominent in the straight edge movement, but like it was just outside of the realm of hardcore, because I wasn't into hardcore until I was like 15. And discovering that world was a really big and important and profound thing for me. But those guys were really the first people that kind of put straight edge as a movement on my radar, instead of just kind of, this label or this thing you do to kind of describe yourself. Toby Morse is a huge one, because he has his nonprofit called One Life, One Chance, and he goes into schools and talks about being drug-free and alcohol-free, and that it's, sometimes a little cooler than it looks, or that society kind of, labels it to be. Because he just goes in there and like covered head to toe in tattoos and talks about his band and touring and all this stuff, and that you don't have to be a nun to be kind of like clean in that kind of way. You can be cool. You can make those kind of choices. And Davey Havok is still a huge one for me. I mean, AFI are like a really important band for me and always will be. But like Black Audio, his other project with Jade, is something that I absolutely love. And one of the things, like, I loved kind of, I felt at home kind of when I discovered like the hardcore community, but at the same time, like, I was this kid and I was into all kinds of music. I wasn't just into hardcore, and that's the thing, like, I always felt a bit kind of elitist about the hardcore scene, is like, you know every lyric to every song by these bands, and you don't listen to anything outside the realm of hardcore. And I was like, well, I really love like all genres of music, like heavier and lighter. And somebody who was making like electronic music like that basically sounds like Depeche Mode. It was like, this is really cool knowing that this comes in some way from like straight edge roots. That like AFI came out of a hardcore punk scene and transitioned into everything they became, which is awesome, because like a band should always be trying new things, and they really inspire us and me to grow as a band and to really never like stay still and experiment and become more kind of mature. But yeah, that was such an important one where it's kind of like, okay, dudes from this community can just play with any music they want to. And I think that's how it should be. I think too many people are too conservative with what they listen to. Like, the entire kind of like spectrum of music is beautiful, and there's stuff to love, there's stuff to hate, and it's worth just kind of listening to everything. And I don't know, those are some really important people for me for those reasons.
Awesome. So, I guess it's kind of like reverse this week.
So, Will.
Yeah, that was brilliant to hear, like, just to learn a lot more. It's a bit like we've done with Always the Quiet Ones. It's interesting to just get to know people on a bit of a more intimate, personal level. And Patty's such an interesting character, because I feel he's so humble, and just to be able to hear him, talk about Toby Morse of H2O and like, being straight edge and saying, things like that. It's a lot cooler than, maybe it's things are labelled as. And it was so great to hear him say things like that, and it kind of to like knock down that facade as a real figurehead of this world. Tamsin, what you say?
Yeah, I mean, both Patty and Awsten, it's, you know, they're both straight edge guys. They're both, without, this isn't meant to sound like really weird, but they're both a little bit miserable but really happy at the same time. Well, like the music, like particularly Waterparks, like just it's bop after bop, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like to kind of go in more in depth into what goes behind those songs with each of them, and I feel like these guys, you know, we've said they are the leaders of a new generation of sort of the pop rock, pop punk world, and I feel like, you know, for kids that are, you know, heading into their teenage years and everything, I do think these two guys are really, really important in our scene because, as you know, the guy said, drinking can be fun, just be careful. But like the fact they are both
public service announcement.
but they are both straight edge. They both deal with anxiety and stuff, and they both don't really like social media or have their issues with social media and the influence it has on young people. And I think these are the types of guys and people in bands that we now need for the younger generation. Like, people are able to look up to them and be like, oh, you know, if you're being, I know I was when I was at school feeling pressured to go to the park and drink a litre of cider on a Wednesday afternoon. It wasn't really my vibe. But you do feel that pressure when you're at that age to kind of fit in with everyone and just go along with what they're doing because you don't want to seem lame. And to have people like this to look up to, I think, is really, really important.
Absolutely, yeah. And like you say, I mean, I love how just kind of unapologetic they are about being them, you know. Like they you know, Patty's not afraid of being like, I like books and I like music, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't do any of that stuff, and I'm just me and that's who I am. And, you know, like I say, you know, being inspired by people like, you know, Toby Morse from H2O or Chad Gilbert from Newfound Glory, and, you know, all these people that have done similar things like that, it's amazing to hear. And I think it's really, like you say, really important, you know, for the generation coming up. I mean, Jack, how was it for you to do the actual interview?
Oh, it was a riot because Patty's just lovely. And I mean, it's the nice part of speaking to Patty about it is because Waterparks took them out on the road, and like that touring party seemed like the perfect blend of characters and people. And I just like hearing, my favourite part of that chat was when Patty picked up on what Awsten does when he comes off stage, which is that he goes straight into writing music. That, like, rather than, like, as he said, he's like, when he comes off stage, he's been high kicking and having a great time, and he's too happy to write music.
I've just got this like really fun image in my mind of like Patty coming off stage and just being like, boom, yeah, feeling great, high kicks, let's smash this, life is great. I love you got. And then Austin's like, can you keep it down? I'm in the zone trying to write a banger here.
Yeah, but it's like that he's going that, even though Austin's does channel like the more like dark and angry thoughts, that he's able to do it with that energy which he's built up on stage from playing these songs. Whereas I feel as though that's something which you can hear it in Patty's voice, that he's actually picking that up and he might start doing that for himself. And I feel as though that's another level of like bands helping bands, that I say it all the time, that every day is a school day. Like, don't let anyone tell you that you ever stop learning, because you don't. Like, I've learned more from band members and people in life after being at school than I did at school. Who remembers Pythagoras? No one. And I feel as though that's really, there's something really nice about like different members of different bands being able to pick up these skills and better themselves as people and also musicians, and be open to those sort of opportunities. And I feel as though that's what Patty's been doing with Awsten. Like, it's nice knowing that aside from being an inspiration to the kids who listen to him, is an inspiration to like his peers around him as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, and like you said, you know, it's a surreal moment for him because he's grown up reading Rock Sound, and this is his first cover anywhere. So it's an amazing moment. So support him. He's a brilliant figure. You know, he stands for some really important moral things, and we shall stand with him on this really exciting stuff. Huge shout out to Patty. So if you're liking what you're hearing, When Patty Met Awsten is now on sale, ready to order online at shop.rocksound.tv. Absolutely amazing, getting to know the two leading lights of a new generation of bands. So you can get the Awsten Knight bundle, which is a collector's solo cover of Awsten, an exclusive limited edition t-shirt personally designed by Awsten himself, hand-signed poster print by Awsten as well. Only 150 ever made. So these are limited edition, buy them up quick. And there's the Patty Walters bundle, which again, collector's solo cover of Patty this time, alongside exclusive limited edition t-shirt, personally designed by Patty, of course, like the Awsten one, and a hand-signed poster print by Patty as well. Again, only 150 ever made. And then it's the insane bundle, like the big one, the Patty and Awsten bundle. So you can get the Patty and Awsten magazine cover in that, hand-signed poster print, both of them, vinyl stickers, a pin badge pack, an exclusive Patty and Awsten tote bag. Loads to get involved with, all free worldwide shipping. Absolutely amazing. Rocksound.tv. This is super exciting, really, really brilliant to be a part of and to stand by these really intriguing characters in the music world. So amazing. Get involved. Shop.rocksound.tv. Also includes 32 amazing stickers, studio exclusive with real friends and stuff with Wage War, Grayscale, and more. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Follow us on Spotify as well. An updated Rock Sound chart. We've got Ruiner by the amazing Nothing No. We're on there at the top of the chart. Absolutely amazing. And of course, a brand new episode of our Scuzz TV show on Daily on Scuzz to go alongside the brand new issue. Super exciting. Jack.
Gee whiz, Will, it's all happening. All right, lads, let's have some fun. So, over on that there's Twitter sphere, we asked you guys, what is the best lyric of all time? And you came back in your droves.
I don't think I could pick, like, my favourite lyric of all time.
It's hard.
It'd probably take me about a week to reply.
Oh, that was most of the responses.
Just like noting them down, like, and then having to cut them down to like top 5.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what mine is. I have two. And
I feel like the fact that you've already kind of decided on this, like, pre this question, like, it's just some information that you've just kept inside your head should it ever be relevant.
I could just about do it, I think, as well.
I mean, like, mine is either, like, Washington Square Park, Wonder Years, I Left a Lot of Blood in California.
Big.
Or Famous Last Words by MCR, See You Lying Next to Me with Words I Thought I'd Never Speak.
Great shows. Yeah, I'm Day 54 by Let Live. I'm not going to say it because it's quite a lot of swearing, but yeah.
Go on, Will.
It's a bit sweary.
It's also quite deep as well, so it might sound a bit out of place. But basically the first main verse, or the second main verse, should I say, on Day 54 by Let Live. Check it out if you want something depressing and amazing and profound.
Twitter bio. Oh no, I mean Tinder bio.
Yeah, Tinder bio. Go on, Tamsin. Paramore.
I honestly don't know. I mean, probably deep rooted in Paramore's back catalogue, there is something that stands out, but it's not something I've ever thought of. So now I'm desperately trying to go through every single lyric.
We'll come back at the end.
Well, let's see.
There was a really, really old Def Van song which had a lyric I really liked in it. It's from their debut album when they still had the screamer.
Was it on Nicotine Alcohol Save My Life?
No.
If I was
No, I can't even remember.
Day, I'll make sure that I spent it without
It's not that. I can't even remember the name of the song.
And
I can just remember.
I'm not changing.
And I apologise for swearing in advance. It goes something. It's something like, talk about skeletons in your closet. Well, there must be a fucking cemetery in mine. Liked that. Remembered it. Stood out to me when I first heard the song. Always remember it now. Can't remember the name of the song, but it's a really good song.
Did you write it on the front of your maths textbook?
Oh, yeah, it's across my college folder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
I remember you posted that the other day, didn't you? And it's wild.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, if anyone wants a good lol, head on to my Twitter and search through my pictures, and there's a picture of my college folder on there, which, no joke, is 90% Rock Sound stickers, which is mental when you think about that. Here I am. Yeah. If I could tell 17-year-old me where I'd be.
Same.
Anyway, should we go?
Should we see what the Rock Sound universe is saying? Anatoly _10 said, "You said we'll never make a difference. Maybe this battle is to fight indifference, which is the one and only Architects." Jake says stuff. Yes, he does. Said, "The wonder is, it's not about forcing happiness. It's about not letting sadness win." That happy emo, which is a sick Twitter handle. I try to say goodbye, defy, and deny what it is. I'm fearing, clearly I'm dying, dearly I'm writing, merely testifying what a test to fly requires. I passed the test with flying colours. That's 21 Pilots, that one. Samex Riot said, "Whoever I was then, I can't be ever again," which is Taking Back Sunday. And the classic from Enchikari, "Yabba dabba do one, son. We don't want your rules. Who you fooling, son? We got all the tools." So, yeah, like, I think...
Some strong choices there.
Solid choice.
Inspo
like,
quotes. I might write them on my bedroom wall.
I mean, like...
a bit like Live, Laugh, Love, but...
Live, life, love...
Brutal.
Live, love, learn. That one. Eat,
What?
pray... Eat,
Who's
pray.
that?
What were you saying?
You know, in like some people's houses, they have Live, Laugh, Love, like above like their
it's like
fireplace.
inspiration
I'm going to
thing,
take these and do that instead.
yeah.
So I'm going to put Yabba Dabba Doo on, so I'm not above my toilet or something.
That was funny because you went, well, at Yabba Dabba fucking do one. Top work, lads. I realise how difficult that was, and you all smashed it. Sick.
Awesome. So, interview 2, our co-cover star, Awsten Knight. So, again...
it's me again, isn't it?
It is. So, we obviously, Jack spoke to Awsten, same day, all about the same things, really, being a figurehead, being on a magazine cover and just, alongside Patty, what he thinks of Patty and just all this stuff. And obviously, Austin's, they're quite different characters as well, and Austin's quite an outspoken dude, and he's been on this podcast before and really, really fired off, about stuff. And, I think that's, but about good things. And I think, Jack went into that with him, and I think that was really, really interesting. So here we go. This is Awsten Knight, our cover star from Waterparks. Brilliant stuff. Here we go.
So, yeah, today we're talking about the start of what's happening on Friday. You're back on the cover.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude.
So
that's so wild. I saw the mock-up, and I was like, fuck yeah.
Mate, honestly, everything about it is just like, it looks great, like the setup's great. I mean, mainly, like, your connection with Patty started when you guys toured together in the States in November to December.
Right.
Tell us a bit about hanging out with Patty and the As It Is guys. Like, what kind of memories do you have of that?
It was cool. I mean, I remember before legal action came at me. Awesome. We were like bumping the Felony Steve mixtape, like in our bandwagon, like super hard, and everybody was like going fucking nuts. I think pretty much everybody but me was drunk, and we put Courtney from Chapel in the microwave.
Yeah, I remember reading that. That's it's. I mean,
so that was cool. Talking to Patty was cool too. So I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. You're like a straight edge dude. So I mean, it was cool to like hear, I guess, what he wants to, or like what his goals and shit are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm always curious about that because I don't really fuck with people that don't have drive or like have bigger things they're trying to accomplish. Just because like I don't know, I get bummed out. Like you're supposed to surround yourself with who you like you should surround yourself with people who want cool, awesome shit for themselves. You know what I mean? And Patty's definitely a dude with goals. That's cool.
Yeah, from that, like, because when I spoke to Patty earlier, he was saying, the main thing he picked up from you is how, like, you come off stage and straight away start writing music again, and that's something which he's going to take for himself. Like, from your time with Patty, like, what kind of things did you learn from him and also about Patty that you're taking on further in life?
I did, because he talked about how with it, like when he was younger in school and everything, there wasn't really much of an anti-drug or any kind of there wasn't really any kind of enforcement, like, or like teaching of like why stuff like that is bad. It was more so he was basically saying it was like almost like, hey, this is just like where you get all this shit, blah blah blah. It was almost like enabling or like normalizing it, and how he wanted to openly have like an anti-drug thing and all that stuff when he's, you know, older. And I thought that was really cool, just because I feel like that's sort of not a thing much nowadays. And I mean, not to shit on people who drink and, you know, do drugs or whatever, like that's your thing, but it's cool to actually have people that are vocally, I guess, trying to counter that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, big
having a good influence in like from a singer in this kind of scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I feel as that, it's one of those things where you don't realize that it's there until you meet people who are feeling that way and feel that strongly about it, and then it kind of opens up a completely different door to you.
Well, right. See, the thing is, I mean, I've always known that stuff is like shitty and stupid. Plus, I have a very addictive personality, so I've just always known like I can't do any of that, because I will get addicted to dumb things, like small things, whatever, like nothing crazy or bad, like caffeine and shit. But I'm also extremely self-aware, and I know that that's why I can't ever fuck with any of that.
Tell us a bit about the actual shoot with Patty, because there was so much going on there. Like, we've got the dog.
Dude, I didn't know that was a cover. Like, I had literally no idea. Like, I was just like fucking around. I was playing with this dog.
Yeah. I mean, like, the results are pretty special, if we're honest. But
yeah,
like, how was it for you, like, working with Patty in that way, like, in just a really fun, because you say that it's like you were goofing around and having fun, but how was it kind of like even shooting in that way with someone who you've become such good friends with?
I mean, it was cool. Like, I mean, and it sounds fun, like goofy to say or whatever, but I mean, I guess we've both done enough like photo shoot type things now at this point to where, like, when we did that, it's like, you know what to do and how to be, I guess. So it's like we could fuck around and it was fun, but like it wasn't like, I don't, like, sometimes you take pictures of people and they're like, I don't know where to put my hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, it wasn't like that. That was pretty cool.
Sick, man.
It was like fun and it was easy, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, oh, we're just here kind of fucking around, whatever.
Kind of like a bit in the details of what you actually spoke about in the feature as well. Like, you talked about individuality as an artist and making Waterparks like away from kind of the pack. Like, you said it was something to do with like the flannel shirts. Like, there's 100 of them, thousands of them. How important is it for you as an artist, but also for Waterparks as a band, to stand out from the rest of that pack?
It's extremely important. I mean, your band is not just sound. Your band is a look. It's a fucking smell, dude. Like, you don't want to be a smelly band guy. Like, your presentation is literally everything, and that's why your aesthetic has got to be on point. Otherwise, you just look like a dump. Like you look like a dump. You know what I'm saying? And like, that's not tight. Nobody wants to like watch a dump, even if it sounds pretty. Like, and when you see everybody doing the same shit, like, it's very easy to take a step back and go, okay, well, if everyone is doing that, and I'm also into all this cool shit, it's not like I'm just doing it just to try and stand out. It's like I really like all the the visual aspect of us. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at me, like, if I didn't know me and I look at me, I'd be like, dang, that dude looks wild. You know what I mean? Like,
let's go on to like your motivation as an artist and how that's changed over the years. What was it that originally motivated you when you first started kind of wanting to be in a band and create music, and how does that differ to what motivates you now?
I mean, let's see. I wanted, like, the thing is, when I started playing music, I just really, really liked it. It was immediately just like, my focus, and I was obsessed with it. And I liked playing shows every weekend at like shitty little coffee houses or smoothie places or whatever, like, whatever the venue was that would take us. And that's when I was like 14, starting when I was like 14. I would do these shows every weekend, and if they wouldn't book me, I would still go to them. You know what I mean? Just because I liked the environment, and I liked, just being there. Even like at the hardcore shows that where those dudes did not fuck with me at all, I still liked going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean that was really cool. And like the thing is, I've always kind of just, I don't know. Basically, I guess as soon as I became aware that you should be like, you should succeed, like that success is like a thing that you should obtain. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get that. And since music is just my favorite thing to be doing, and it was the thing there was never like a conscious shift of like, and now I'm going to play music for a living. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like, oh, it was just like a built-in, like, this is what I'm going to do. And, I mean, motivation for writing and making songs and doing like albums, especially, that's, I don't know. I mean, being able to express what you're dealing with at that time, I feel like it helps if you can get it out in an artistic way, because sometimes people lash out in stupid ways when they're upset, like going on a Twitter rant, you know what I mean? But other times, and that's the wrong way to handle something if you're upset. Now, there's a time and a place to let people know about the shit that is, I guess, currently, for lack of a more delicate phrasing, fucking your life.
Yeah.
And I think that time would be through a song, something artistic, or a video even, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but, yeah, I think like, it's kind of funny. People with entertainment, people think that was, like a full, like that was like, I don't know when they think that was written, because they think like a lot of people are like, man, like that album's about like his breakup and blah, blah, blah. But it's not, or it's about like one of them, like an earlier one. Yeah. Like one of that, like same subject and everything. But that album hasn't even fucking happened yet. Like, the thing is, I'm like, and what's up is like, even though shit, like, this is just like to play off of what I was saying before, but even though shit was extremely shitty, I didn't go and like, I didn't hop on Twitter and go, I was wronged in this way and 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 this way. And that made me feel this and this and put me in this place. You know what I mean? Because it's like, that's not how you do that. But time and a place for art and expression. Album 3, whenever that happens, that's going to be a very fucking dark, angry, and self-empowering album. And I don't remember how we got here, but like that's why being able to express yourself through art is important. So I guess, yeah, that's the reasoning behind doing what I do, is because I think it's a necessary artistic outlet to, this is going to be the longest answer in this entire article. I don't know if you're going to use this or not. You should though, because it's tight. Yeah. I'm like killing it right now. Yeah, I mean, there's a time and a place for expression, and I think that's why it's important.
Sure thing, man. I mean, on another tangent from that, it's an interesting one that now, like, another thing you spoke about was getting used to people relating to the things which you're writing about, and getting kind of used to the fact that people do feel the same way as you, and you're not alone in this in many ways. Like, how does it feel to be able to talk about these personal things, be them in the past or present or even future, and how people relate in such a deep and meaningful way? Like, how was it getting used to that? It
kind of makes me feel sad that people relate. just because, I mean, like the thing is, for me, being able to say this shit, being able to name drop, like, people who have been shitty to me in a song, like, with their names, that's such a fucking cathartic thing. And I know band guys always say, like, oh, man, writing this release was just, like, what my soul needed. It was literally catharsis. But, like with, like, vague-ass lyrics about, like, I don't know, vague troubles and shit. I think, so, I mean, that's why I do it. But then seeing people that people relate, it kind of lets you know that your problems aren't as left field and fucking nuts as you think, because like when you're going through shit, you like, I guess it's just like a human thing to be like, I'm alone. Like that's your instinct, but you're fucking not. You know what I mean? Like if you get cheated on, yo, dude, people have been getting cheated on since people were like in Rome and shit, and like we're getting eaten by lions. Like people were still doing that bullshit back then, because I think even in like Greece or whatever, people were like hella insecure.
How are you dealing with the spotlight that's kind of centered itself on you now, that people are picking up on the music you make and the things you do and the things you say, like through fan art?
It's a double-edged sword, dude.
Yeah?
It's absolutely a double-edged sword. Like, it's great because it would fucking suck to be making things that I consider important and important for art and have no one pay attention to it, because I feel like it sucks to feel like no one's hearing your expression, because I mean, I've fucking been there, you know what I mean? Like people have cared about us for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
That's when we started touring. It's been a little over 2 years. Like, but I know what it's like to put out a release and like have like a very minimal amount of people, like in the grand scheme of things, care. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, and that sucks. But it's very cool now that like entertainment quadrupled first week sales from Double Dare.
Yeah.
Like the goal is to always double. That's like how you know you're still fucking killing it. And yeah, I mean, we did ×4. So, I mean, I'm like, hell yeah, dude, people give a shit. So that's great. And like, if I say something online or I want someone to care about something, like one of my friends just put out a new band, and I posted about it on my Instagram because I was like, man, I want people to give a shit. By the way, that band's called New Love. They're tight. You know, having that platform is great because I can help my friends. Now, where it becomes shitty is people want to fucking micromanage they want to put every word under a microscope. The thing is, it's not even like I'm actually out here saying bad shit, but people really want to find, like, they want to find, what's the right word? People want to find someone to fucking put on the cross because it makes them feel like they're doing good. Like it's like a self-righteous thing. It's not, because the thing is, I think if people look at something I say or do or whatever, it's very fucking obvious to see that I don't have some weird malicious intent. Like, for example, when I dropped fucking Money Mountain Volume 2, my dumbass joke mixtape for free that I made in my free time for free with my friends, just because we thought it was funny. Like, literally everybody was on board. And then there was, like, one fucking person that's like, that's racist. He's a piece of shit, and he's making blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, seriously? Like, how fucking hard do you have to reach for that? Like, it's a joke. You can see that it's a joke. Like, I literally talk about, like, making out with Harry Potter. Like, obviously the shit's not serious. It's not that deep, dude. But, like, since this many people know who I am, there are going to be, and we're in an age right now where everybody feels, it's like the most self-important people have ever been, I think. Or at least this is when we can tell, because everybody has a platform through social media, and they've grown up this way, so they feel like they have a voice. Well, they do have a voice, even if it's not like a deserved voice, because a lot of people's opinions are stupid and wrong, or at least their views are stupid and wrong. And so it's like, when someone tries to come for somebody else and be like, this and this and this, like, part of me doesn't even like. Part of me I feel like subconsciously they know it's not that wrong, but we're in a time right now where it's like you reach for shit because if you can put somebody else down, it's almost like people can feel good that they're doing some kind of weird social good by reaching and pointing out some like dumb, very out of nowhere shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel
man.
like I've worded this poorly. I may have talked in a circle, but no, it's pretty stupid because it's good and it's bad because one, I can help myself and help my friends, and actually, people care about the art that I make, which is really one of the most important things in the world to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, where
man.
it sucks is stupid people try and like put everybody on a fucking cross and be like, everyone fucking get him. He's this. I'm like, dude, I'm really not. And I feel like these people should know that I'm not, because even with if I go and actually look at what they're saying, they're like, I feel like maybe he didn't intend to. Like, well, then bitch, why are you coming at me like that? You know what I mean? Like, if you actually cared about just educating me, that's all you would do. You wouldn't be like, fucking get him, like witch hunt style. You know what I'm saying?
Right, Jack, do you want to lead the charge on this one?
Sure. Shout out Austin for being so brilliant, like when you chat to him, and so honest in a way which no one is these days. Like someone who's just got like even his honesty when it comes to entertainment, which has just come out, and talking about it in the way that he has, and like without fear of who's going to hear. And I feel as though that's kind of like why us and Austin get on so well, because we're not afraid to say what needs to be said, and he's not either. And I feel as though the most interesting part of what he was saying was about like getting used to being that figurehead and like having people relate to the art he's making, like through like tattoos and like drawings and stuff. And it's his kind of like realization that, you know, it's a very human thing to think that you're alone in your feelings. And I feel as though that's something which he it's kind of emphasized in like the lyrics that he writes. And I thought the other interesting part is how all the rumors going around about what entertainment's about, he's just shot them down and said, you wait till album 3, 'cause that's when
that was one of my favorite bits. Just you guys have no idea how salty I'm gonna get on the next
I just
album.
want him going full salty now, because I feel like this is a mix of like sweet and salty. We just want it salty.
He's gonna go full Himalayan pink salt.
Oh, I mean, like, that is the
good stuff.
That is the superior salt. Shout out TK Maxx.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel as though for him especially, because he is, everything he says now is under a microscope, and he's just a dude who wants to live his life and have fun and say the things he wants to, but getting used to like people taking everything you say as gospel, it's really hard. Like, I feel as though Patty's handled it quite well, because he steps away from social media and doesn't let himself be like that open. Like, he wants to keep some things internal. But Austin's just a guy who likes saying stuff online and just like getting his thoughts out. And when people put that under the microscope, it's like you can hear in his voice that he's like, he doesn't really know where it's come from or how to deal with it. And I feel as though a lot of people will try and gloss over that, but he's really like just gone, you know what, I just say shit. I'm just here to have a good time. I'm just living the life that I want to. And if you want to take things that I say like completely out of context, then do it. I'm just going to carry on being me.
Yeah, definitely. It all comes back to that thing of just being completely unapologetic, you know. And I think this is a huge thing in music right now, in that we are getting all these characters, these really interesting characters who are just like, I am different, I'm pretty weird, but like I am not apologising for it, and I'm being who I am. And Patty and Awsten are just like completely glaring examples of that. And I think it's just amazing. Like you say in that chat, it's just he just doesn't have a filter, but not in a bad way, not in like a horrible way, and just the way that it's like I'm going to be honest about stuff. I'm going to be honest about how I talk about myself and my material and my albums, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. And the fact that he's willing to be on a platform, and even though it's like you say a double-edged sword and things are difficult, he's willing to put himself out there to lead by example. Tamsin, what are you saying?
I love like every time we talk to him, he becomes more and more of like a sassy little bitch. he could, like, in the best way possible. But like he could be on like RuPaul's Drag Race, but just as himself. Like he wouldn't need to dress up or anything. He would just like strut on and be like, "Yes, queen." And like there's characters in this music scene, and then there's Awsten, and everything about him is just brilliant.
Shout out RuPaul's.
Like he just doesn't have an off switch, and he has absolutely no problem with being like, yo, this person like disrespected me, so I'm gonna write you a song, and it's gonna be the best diss track you've ever heard.
I mean, that's like the thing as well, that there's, when it comes to like promotion of albums and just the system that's been in place for so long, like there's a bit Awsten like got in trouble for the felony Steve.
Yeah, I loved it when he brought that up.
Yeah. But it's because like he's just doing things how he wants. Like he's like, it's like people are trying to go saying, no, you can't do that. It's like, well, why not? Like he's the kid who goes, why? Why? But like on a level of like on a global scale, like because he's got fans all over the world like watching for this, and he's just like, well, why is the system like this? Like, why are bands like this? Why does music have to be this way when I can do it this way? And I mean, another thing which you were saying was how like there was a bit which was it in the chat when we were chatting a bit further away, when he was talking about people who have like influenced him, and he brought up like he said, well, I listened to like Green Day and I listened to Good Charlotte, but then the people who really inspired me are artists like Tyler the Creator, because they're not scared to love themselves. They're not like the rock scene has this kind of stigma attached to it that you have to be sad and you go to shows to be sad, rather than like going to a show to come out loving yourself more. And I feel as like that's why he stands out even more than anyone else, because he's writing music which he wants to, and he's writing it to create an environment where people can feel good about themselves, like not come and feel sad because that's what they think they have to be. And I feel like it's just another, we talk about it so much that like the scene's changing, bands are changing, people are getting more confident in like what they want to do. And I feel as though to have him at the forefront of this, it just makes it even more exciting than it ever was before.
Yeah, definitely. And like he's such a good, like, I know this is kind of like a ridiculous thing to say, but he's such a good swearer as well. Do you find that? Like I just love the way that he never holds back, like, and he manages to do it in a kind of creative way, and that bleeds through into the music as well. So yeah, brilliant stuff. Like Awsten, always absolutely brilliant, really, really interesting character, and always something more to learn about him. I think he's got so much to give. So yeah, amazing stuff. If that's not an endorsement, I don't know what is. So if you're interested, if you're an Awsten stan, if you're a Patty stan, if you're just intrigued by these really intriguing, interesting characters, shop.rocksound.tv, get on it now. These are ready to order right now. You can get the Awsten Knight bundle, which is a collector's solo cover, exclusive limited edition t-shirt designed by Awsten, hand signed poster print, absolutely amazing. And there's the Patty Walters bundle, again, a collector's solo cover, exclusive limited edition t-shirt designed by Patty himself, hand-signed poster print, only 150 ever made of both, absolutely amazing. Snap it all up right now, it will go. And of course there's the massive, amazing one to go for, which is the Patty and Awsten bundle, which is the Patty and Awsten magazine cover, hand-signed poster print, vinyl stickers, pin badge pack, an exclusive Patty and Awsten tote bag. So much going on, all free worldwide shipping. Shop.rocksound.tv. Go go there right now and buy this all up. Absolutely amazing. So it's been a fun one.
Roller coaster.
Yeah,
Always.
launch special's always good, particularly exciting. So yeah, it's been good, isn't it? Did you enjoy doing the chats?
Yeah, I did, mate. Yeah, it was nice.
I had quite the shock when I went to listen to them, expecting to hear Will's voice.
Oh yeah,
And then you get,
yeah.
I was like, hang on a minute. It's not Will.
It's like, hey up, you're all right, lad.
Yeah.
So, what's it like being on the front cover
What's
of
it
magazine?
like being the band?
Yeah. Yeah, by gum. Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed them though. Well done, Jack.
Thanks.
Awesome. Yes, well done,
Thanks.
Jack.
Cheers, mate.
It has been fun. We will see you guys next week, and get to shop.roxanne.tv right now.
Sick. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.